You are watching the Art of Grace podcast. Welcome to my channel. This is season 1, episode 5. Our special guest today is Minister Rita Williams. Listen to her story of rebirth after the storm. Hey, it's your number one Grace girl, Farah, coming to you with another episode of Art of Grace. I can't believe it. Guess where I'm at, everybody?
Yes.
Guess where I am, where all got started.
Yes.
I mean, wow. So this is season 1, episode 5, and I am with my friend and my dear sister, Rita Williams. Wow.
How are you?
I cannot believe that we're doing this together.
Amazing.
I know. I mean, can you believe that last year this time, I was here exactly 1 year ago, hanging out in your house, eating up all your food.
All the food.
Having sister talk.
Yeah, it was great.
Look what this year has shown us.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy. I can't wait for us to share where life has been in the past year.
Absolutely.
Hey, everybody, give Rita a warm welcome to the Art of Grace podcast. I want to just say this. I shared this in my trailer episode, and I think in my first episode, that time that I spent with you guys last year was really the birthing of Art of Grace Ministry.
Yes.
You know, sitting in here with you all, you guys asking me those hard questions. What am I doing in ministry? What am I doing with my life?
Yes.
And I went home, and I think a week later, I text you all.
Yes, you did.
And was like,
I'm starting a podcast.
and you all was so excited.
Yeah.
And like, Farah, that's such an amazing idea. Go run with it. Yeah. Do it. And I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you. You especially letting me stay in your house last year. We just kind of took over your house.
Yes, you did.
You know,
Brother
Rita.
Aki.
Yes, Rita, Teresa.
Yeah,
Cheryl,
yeah.
You know, Denise, everybody
Greta,
just over here hanging out.
Deasia.
Yes, just hanging out upstairs in your living room, outside on the patio. We spent the whole weekend here with her ladies and gentlemen.
And when they left, the refrigerator was empty.
It was.
My son cooked for y'all. He had a great time.
We had an amazing time. But more than anything, I had an amazing time in ministry with you guys.
Always.
And it's always that way, right? When we get together and we share and we laugh and we cry and we look at where we came from, and now we're here.
Yes.
Okay, so we're not going to say that, yes. Okay, so from 2022 to now, there has been some ups and downs in all of our lives.
A whole lot.
And a lot of blessings as well, right? And so now I'm here with Rita. Now, this is impromptu, okay? Let me just tell you. We didn't really plan on recording an episode tonight, but it was God. It was all Him. I talked to Rita before I came down yesterday. I just said, let me do a last minute trip, out to Virginia. And I said, you know what? Do you want to record an episode? I'm only traveling with a backpack. I can't carry any equipment with me. It's just going to be me. And I get to her house, and she has a whole studio set up. I'm just so impressed. And I can't wait to see what she's going to do, because she's going to, of course, do something in ministry dealing with the podcast.
Absolutely.
And so I'm so excited that, we're rubbing elbows tonight. We've shared tonight.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the birthing of something new for you as well.
Awesome.
Now,
Yes.
Have you been listening to the podcast so far?
Yes, I've listened to your podcast, and I think it's great. We can reach out and touch you by our phones.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
I know.
We didn't see you no other way but through the phone.
I know.
It's going to be great. You're giving birth to something else.
Yeah. Because, last year when we talked about it, before we talked about the podcast, you guys were asking me what was I going to do in ministry. And I was thinking back to our times in ministry together. Going outside, hidden in the streets, in the house.
The prison ministry was off the chain.
The Bible studies that were to capacity. There was only standing room and the worship. And I was like, well, how can I reach more women? And you know what? Reaching everyone through the podcast. Now, I want to tell you guys, I actually started talking really, really fast. I shared with you that this is season 1, episode 5. I'm really excited to be with Rita. For me, spiritually, the number 5 represents grace. So I always like to, pay homage to that. We are also on Rita's Facebook page right now live. So at the end of the episode, what we're going to do is that we're going to open it up to questions. So we'll end the episode, And once we end the episode, because we're recording for YouTube as well, then Rita can answer some questions to all of you guys out there. So we're excited about that. So just stick around to the end of the episode, and don't forget to give her some questions inside of the chat. We'll make sure that we're on live before this episode ends. Okay. So I'm going to be talking to my sister Rita about her. Like, she's an amazing evangelist, for anybody who doesn't know her, an amazing minister, a mom, a grandma, a friend, a sister, an auntie, so many different things. And I mean, we met, and I want to give a shout out to all the women of grace who are listening and watching. I was at Olga's house today. Love you, love you, love you, Olga. I surprised you today and showed up at your house. And it was so good to see you and your family. I love you so much. And it has been 20 years of friendship.
Unbelievable.
More than 20 years for a lot of us, but I started Women of Grace 20 years ago. So 2023, I started in 2003 with all of you amazing ladies. I mean, you guys made up Women of Grace, you know.
Yeah, Teresa met you at Walmart.
Yes, she did.
And told me about it.
Yes.
And we went.
Yes.
I went in uniform.
And became good friends.
Yeah.
And our friendship and our sisterhood has lasted through all of that. And I just couldn't believe. I'm like, it's been 20 years. It just doesn't feel like that.
Well, Logan was suckling the last time.
I know. My son's 19. So, yeah, when you guys met me, I was probably expecting.
Yes.
And now 20 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
You know, so, but we're going to talk about you tonight.
But, yeah, because Farrah would just go, hold on, I'm going to do Logan.
Yeah. Yes, because it was just one of those, you know what, we're mothers first more than anything.
It was nice.
And so I had to still tend to family, but the Bible study was calling me, the ministry was calling me, and so I made it happen either way. But your story always amazed me, Rita. It not only amazed me, it encouraged me. You have such a story of true grace, strength, just so many things, you know, redemption. I mean, wow. And I just said, you have to share your story. You have to. And you know, just tonight with us getting the content ready to talk about it, for some people, they have sadness when, you know, they go through some of the things that you went through, but your sadness has totally been turned into gladness.
It's joy.
It's just complete. That's exactly what it is. Just complete joy. I mean, all of it.
It's oozing out.
Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah. And so you're going to hear from her tonight. You know, you're going to hear her story. I wanted her to share. You guys know that this platform is meant for women in ministry and the marketplace. And one thing I love about Rita is that she does not mind sharing her story. Some people have stories that they have a lot of shame in it, you know, or they have a lot of, you know, pain in it.
Yes.
And so with that, they don't want to share their story. But if you don't share your story, you can't reach that next one. And I just pray tonight that for anybody who's watching and listening, that you share this with your family. For someone who's going through a trial or a tribulation, it's such a story of hope.
Yes.
I mean, your life is a story, you know. And so we're going to talk about that. You know, Rita was a little nervous. And I'm like,
I am nervous. I can't lie.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I wrote some questions down for her. Now, I know her. I've known her for a long time. But it's funny because I'm still getting to learn more things. I mean, your story today about what God is doing in your life right now.
Yes.
You know, and how.
Amazing.
You're going to have even more time for ministry, which makes me excited.
Yes, that was one things I really wanted to do.
Yes.
Go on the street and do ministry. I asked God, and He showed me everything I needed to do.
Yes.
And here I am.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to be talking about the storms of life. So one of the first questions that I wanted to ask Rita was, what type of storm have you been through?
I've been through a storm of molestation, drug addiction, abandonment, anger, giving up, suicidal. I've been through a bad storm.
Yeah. And with that storm, what were you trying to escape?
I was escaping the pain. I was being misunderstood. I didn't know how to function through my pain. No one wanted to hear me, help me, or learn what I was going through. My parents were alcoholics, so my father abandoned me. And I started drinking because I didn't like who I was.
Okay.
So I was trying to escape all the things that I developed being in this pain.
Gotcha. And even today, a lot of people struggle with, using something to cope.
Coping mechanisms.
Whether it's, now a lot of people are, unfortunately we're seeing this on the news. There's a lot of fentanyl use, and there's a lot of drug use. There's a lot of, like you said, substance abuses, and it's just it's like a coping mechanism.
Right, because addiction is a behavioral problem.
Yeah.
And until we figure out what the problem is,
yes,
we won't stop.
Yeah. And I think that what happens is that so many of us that are going through a season of pain, that we don't see the end of the storm.
Exactly.
And so we tend to, now the storm is over. God has ceased the storm, but yet we still keep ourselves in that through some of these things.
The storm is not over until you receive God.
Gotcha.
Or your higher power, or whatever the universe. Once you receive that,
yes,
then you could begin to break it down.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So how did God find you in the storm?
On my knees, screaming for help.
Yes.
He said that the effectual fervent prayer of the righteous avails much.
Yes.
I must have had a fervent prayer that night, because when he came in my living room, I knew this was my chance to be someone different now.
Yes.
So I received that moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's calling out, one of the scriptures that you taught me, and you say all the time, Psalm 121, I look to the hills, was coming for my help.
And all of my help comes from the Lord.
Yes, that is one of your favorite scriptures. I know that scripture back and front from you. We had so many good times, just sitting in Bible studies, sharing, having our girls' round table talks afterwards, hanging out in front of the fireplace all night. And it wasn't only Bible study, it wasn't only learning about God amongst each other, but it was learning about how to grow as a woman.
Women. With women, not be angry with them.
Yes.
Hate on them. Just being.
How do you think that affected you, just from your mom, and then now you're around all of us women?
Well, I was glad, because y'all became sisters I didn't have, and aunties and best friends. So it was great. That's like when I went to the rooms of recovery. They gave me more hugs than I received from my parents. Wow. So it kept me coming back. And I had 6 days sober, and they applaud me. So I gravitated to that good thing, and it just got better and better.
Yeah. It's important for us to all show love and affection to each other, whether we're family or not. We don't know if that's going to be that little thing that person needs in that moment.
Absolutely.
That little thing that person needs.
It's the little thing.
Yeah.
Had Teresa not asked you.
Yes.
What you doing with all this grocery?
That is so true.
Being nosy.
Yes,
she would have
Teresa,
never known.
I love you if you're listening and watching. That story's funny, because I used to, when we had the Bible study, we would prepare dinner for everyone to come, and I was in Walmart shopping for food, and the cashier asked me, are you having a party tonight? And I was like, I'm actually having a Bible study. Do you want to come?
Yeah.
And that's how
we got there.
I met you both. That is funny when I think back over that.
And we've been sticking through thick and thin since that day.
Yes.
And we kept coming back for more and more.
Yes.
And God gave birth to something.
Yeah. But you didn't only come back, you came back and you grew and developed in that.
Oh, yes.
In ministry.
You allowed us, to be ourselves.
Yes, because that's the biggest thing, is allowing people to come in as they are.
And you had something I needed, and I had something you needed, and we just shared it amongst the room.
Exactly. Those were exciting times.
If it was poetry, if it was babysitting.
Yes.
If it was just talking about our little children we had, that's grown people now.
Yes.
We were always there. And then my highlight for you was when we prayed for 3 days.
Yes.
People say you don't pray for 3 days. We prayed for 3 days.
Yeah.
We stayed in one spot and just prayed. And it got better and better.
Yeah, we need to go back to those times.
Yeah,
those intimate times,
Yes.
those intimate times of worship. I love my body of Christ, my church that I go to, but I feel like some of the biggest breakthroughs that I had was in those small intimate settings that we had. And, God just came right there to where we were in those moments.
Yes.
And it was amazing.
Yes.
So you called out to God.
I called out to God.
You were desperate.
The effectual fervent prayer of the righteous, it availed much. I was desperate. I was tired. I was hopeless. I was scared. I was not the person I wanted to. I used to say living out there is like living in a dark hole.
Yes, yeah.
So I was in a dark place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't know nothing else to do was to cry out to his name.
Yes.
And he showed up showed out.
Yes, yes.
I will never forget that day.
Wow.
And when the Holy Ghost hit me, I called my brother like, what is the Holy Ghost like? He didn't know. He asked me, was I drunk? Are you on drugs? Are you drinking? What's going on? I said, something just happened to me. I wanted to know. And I was with a burst of energy. And I started to choke. I couldn't breathe. And I'm saying, oh, my God, I'm going to die. I thought I was going to die. But God took my breath away and held me, and I could not breathe. And then this tingle just began to take over. And it seemed like I was up in the bright light, and it was just so good. And when it subsided, I was like, please don't go, Lord, please don't go. But I knew something different happened to me that night.
He encountered,
in 1990.
He came right to where you were.
May 5th of 1990.
Wow.
Yeah.
Calling on him.
Calling on his name. Having a true cry for the Lord's help.
Yeah.
You could cry out and you could do things, but if you don't have a true cry out for the Lord, he's not going to show up. He hear you. He see you. But the effectual fervent prayer of the righteous, it avails much.
I love the Lord. I love him so much. So what was that emotion like? You just shared that, he came, right to where you were. And did you have family around at that time?
No, it was no family. I was by myself. The feeling was fear that the Lord was coming. Yeah. The Lord is coming. That's all I knew. Yeah. Get yourself ready. The Lord is coming. I was in a drug environment. So I had to remove myself from my home in this drug environment because I allowed the person to come in and lay and hide his drugs in my house because I was an addict. But I had to leave my house for 3 days. I left the house for 3 days, went to a hotel, and I was peeking out the window saying, Jesus is coming. Y'all better get ready. And it was, I can remember 3 days. After 3 days, I came up out that room.
Gotcha. And you were able to get some help. And
the fear was gone.
Yeah.
I had to walk across the street and around the block to avoid the drug dealers.
Yes.
Because I had this desire to stay sober.
Yes.
And I went to any means to have that desire.
Yeah, to just keep that.
Right.
Yeah, to just keep that, which is important.
Because when the Lord touch you and it's real, you have to do anything to keep it.
Yes,
so I would go home and I would clean out my house, and I wrote my friend a letter for him not to come back and take his drugs away. And I began to sit in my house and just rock. That's where I got the rocking from. And I rocked and I was calling on his name. And after a couple of days, I called the rehab and I went into National Recovery Institute for 30 days. And I think that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
So when you went through that process, who was someone you can remember that was probably one of your greatest mentors or someone who helped you through?
Herman Williams. Herman Williams helped me.
You never forget people like that.
No. Herman Williams helped me to be who I am right now because he wouldn't give up on us. And the one that stuck to the program, he kept wailing at us and wailing at us. It seemed like we couldn't do nothing right with him. But in the end, I understood what he was doing. And when he died, I was the other wife in the funeral. I cried the whole time, and his wife just said leave her alone because she knew that I had a desire to stay clean.
Yes.
And her husband, with 59 years, helped me to stay clean.
Beautiful.
So we built a family. They were my family for all the pain and stuff I went to. They stroked me. They helped me. And
Yes.
they gave me understanding that my parents didn't know what they were doing. They made a mistake.
Yeah.
And he always said to me, you know, your parents were not perfect. Parenting didn't come with a book.
Okay.
Who are you to be mad at them because they didn't know how to be parents?
Yes.
Who are you to say that, you know, you didn't have all the shoes and the fashion, but you had clothes on your back? He broke me down.
Wow. Yeah, it's good to have those people who have that true honesty.
Who are you to say fish was the only thing you can have on Wednesday and steak on Friday? And, you know, we had a menu.
Yes.
And I realized that my parents did the best they could with what they had.
Yes.
And I had no right to take that away.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know. I found out later what my mother went through.
Yes.
Watching someone, her mother getting shot at 3,
Wow.
not being able to go to school, having to work in a restaurant.
Yes.
I found that all out later.
Yeah. Their traumas, those past traumas.
Their past traumas.
Yeah.
My biological mama died when I was 3.
Yes.
From alcohol addiction. So I'm finding out all of these things.
Yes.
And Herman is saying, how dare you hold this against them?
Yes.
Who are you?
Yeah, that's that forgiveness piece.
Right.
And you know, speaking of forgiveness, you have an amazing set of children. I mean, I've
Yes.
seen them all grow up. I mean,
Yes.
you know, your boys,
Rita's boys.
Rita's boys, yes. And we didn't have to, they didn't have to see that part of history in your life,
No.
but your daughter did.
Yes.
And, you know, I love her too. The relationship you guys have is amazing.
Amazing.
And you guys are so close.
Yes.
And for her being alive at that time that you were going through that, where was she at in all of that?
She was broken.
Yeah.
I lied to her. I, you know, abandoned her. I wasn't a true parent to her. And I thought she didn't see me use drugs. She didn't see me drunk. There was food in the house. We had an apartment. I thought all of that was the good part.
Yes.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I hurt her. And she says to me, Mom, you said anything we do, tell the truth. And I couldn't tell her
Wow.
that I was using drugs.
She's
And when
she's such a strong woman.
Yes. And when she went to my mom's, when I went in rehab, she had to go to my mom's because my sister didn't want to take her. And when I returned, she said, you lied to me as a little girl.
Wow.
And it hurt me.
Wow.
I wanted to tell her, don't talk to me like that. I'm your mother.
Yes.
But we had a bond to tell the truth, and I didn't keep it.
Yes. Yeah.
So we had to, you know, finger paint and start from scratch.
Yes. Yes. So I'm sure that she was a big part of your push wanting to get clean.
Oh, yeah. She was a big part of my push. She helped me to read.
Wow.
If I didn't know a word, she'd tell me to spell it. She would be in her room, and I would read out loud. So she was my inspiration to get up and do better.
Wow. That's incredible.
Rasheen.
Hello,
Yeah.
Rasheen. We
Hi,
love
Mom.
you. Yeah, we love you so much. I know you're your mom's biggest cheerleader, and you know, me being a child of a parent who was, you know, an addict, and not seeing her win that, you know, I'm
Absolutely.
so happy that you have your grandchildren.
Oh, yeah.
You have your daughter, you have your sons, and you're able to live a healthy life with them now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you guys are doing big things.
Yeah.
Something that inspired me today, because we were talking about your story, and, you know, we were talking to our executive producer who's here with us tonight, Jackie. She's sitting behind the cameras
Hi,
over
Jackie.
here. And,
Davis.
you know, we were asking Rita some questions, and we were kind of prepping for content, and we were just talking about what your children would think about the conversation we were going to have tonight. And you shared something as we were at the table, and it was like, wow. And I want you to share a little bit with the audience what that was.
Well, with the question was, would my daughter mind me sharing this story? And it's about her.
Yes.
And early in recovery, I learned how to be honest to her and speak to her as an adult. As a child, though, because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
But she she loves the fact that we're able to talk about all the things we've been through, and we learn how to forgive each other.
Gotcha.
So that we can go on, because forgiveness is a big piece.
Yes.
And I had to prove to her that I wasn't going to go back. So I had to always be working on myself.
Yes.
And respecting her feelings, and not just seeing her as a little child that you just say, go to your room.
Yes.
She wanted answers, and we just started growing together. She helped me, and I helped her.
Yeah. And then, but you shared about your boys tonight and where your story is right now in their lives. Now, because they didn't have to experience that.
None of it.
But yet, your story is still impactful.
Right. So a couple of weeks ago, we were out cooking on the grill, and they had their little drinks, and I was laying on the couch out there, and they started talking about their friends, how many friends went to jail, and how many friends are pregnant, and D'Artagnan started saying, not with Miss Rita, we ain't gonna do this, and we ain't gonna do that, because we knew, you know, not to do this, and that. But Mackie was like, well, we had freedom. Why didn't we just, you know, shoot them up, bang, bang, sell drugs? D'Artagnan said, because Mom gave us a foundation of what's right and what's wrong.
Yes.
And she told us her story.
Yes, yeah.
So I've always told them the story so that they'll know I'm not perfect, because parents, they feel like parents are perfect. And I used to tell them I smoked, I drink, you know, I drugged. I'm not perfect. And I'm not judging you. I just want you to know, you know, if you do too much of this, this happens. And if you do too much of that. So they were out there talking about it. And it blessed my spirit.
Yeah.
That they honor my recovery.
Yes, yes.
And they use it in their lives, and they're not even in recovery.
Yeah.
But they use it so that they don't have to go down that road.
Yeah, and I love it because it takes away any type of shame or pain or unforgiveness or resentment.
Absolutely.
And they have such a high level of respect for you.
Yeah, they're my
boys.
biggest chimp.
Yes, they have. I mean, they respect you.
Yeah.
I've always seen them, the relationship that you have with them, to being open and honest and truthful.
Absolutely.
And you have an open door with them to let them know.
Door. We have an open door policy. Even if it's the truth, it hurts.
Yeah.
We could deal with it. But if you lie, I'm going to beat you.
That's
Put everything in its proper perspective.
Yeah.
And then I go from there. I start forgiving myself or forgiving others, because, you know, we do things that hurt others and we don't know.
Yeah.
So we can't set the blame on one side. And I don't like feeling that feeling when I'm in the storm.
Okay.
Like I'm not good enough. I should have done this. You know, bargaining. It's the 5 stages of separation with everything. Or I'll hit the delete button. I always tell my friend Jackie, delete.
Just hit the delete button.
Delete.
Yeah. And never stepping away from what worked for you in the beginning, which was calling on him.
And God has given us a love that's insurmountable.
Yeah.
It's, you know, love don't hurt, boast, walk away. It's true.
Yes.
I can love someone to the bitter end.
Yes.
Only because of God's love that I have in me.
Yeah.
And he put it there.
So once you, you know, continue the walk, where was your family at in this? You know, did they still see the old Rita? Do they still see the old Rita?
Oh, I believe some of them are still waiting for me to use 33 years later.
That was the next thing I was going to ask you, was how many years clean you were? 33 years.
May 5th, 33 years.
Wow.
My family, they're in disbelief that I've made it.
Yeah.
They're waiting for me to use because they don't have faith about me in their heart.
Okay.
So they're waiting, and I'm not going to use ever again.
No.
So when I have to be with them or interact with them, I'm just normal.
I think that what happens is that, you know, growing up with people who were in your situation, is the trust. Some people never gain trust back. They never gain the trust back.
No.
Like, you know, your children have no residue of that. Your daughter has no residue of that. There's complete forgiveness. And I think that, you know, as an adult, I think that it could be harder to forgive. And so what would you say to someone listening, because somebody's sharing this video with them that they could be using right now? or the child or the family member who was on the other side of that? What would you say to both of those people?
Okay, so the family member, I would tell them that the more you have unforgiveness, the harder the crust is around your heart. I won't call you Pharaoh, but unforgiveness makes you hard. It makes you bargain with negative feelings, and more negative feelings make you negative.
Okay.
So what you need to do is to allow yourself to know that you're powerless over what this person has done in their lives, or you have to see the beauty in them now.
Yeah.
Because they're not using now, so you got to go with what you see now.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and the person that's using, get to a good source and stop using. But once you get the good source, stick with the good source.
Yeah.
Don't go back to the pity party, because the pity party is the storm. It's the storm in your life every day.
Yeah.
You're gonna you get sober, you got children. I think I got out of rehab and Rossi was playing hooky from school. But that was no reason to pick up a bottle of gin. I had to weather the storm to let her know that I'm sober today. I understand where you are.
Yes.
I understand what you're doing, but come over here and let's do something different.
Yes.
You have to trust the process.
Yeah, it's a process. It really is a process. So how did you take some of these same tools that you have and use it in ministry, and use it in women's ministry also?
I tell the truth.
Yes, yes.
Because being a licensed and ordained minister, they just don't think you did anything. Kick the cat. I always say I kicked the cat, smite the dog, broke the mirror. But, you know, I was an addict. Smoke, drink, sniff, crack, whatever. I was molested at 5. I hated everybody. Nobody didn't, you know, I didn't trust nobody.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of crusts around my heart that I was protecting myself, which is that shield that we put up.
Yeah.
So if they, you know, have that shield, they need to start with one thing first, and that's themselves.
Exactly.
Forgive yourself.
Yeah, forgive yourself. Exactly. Forgive yourself first.
And the way you forgive yourself is your inventory of, are you powerful or powerless over things that has happened to you. You can hate someone for molesting you, but what are you going to do with that anger?
Yes.
You can't go beat them up. You can't make them say I'm sorry. But what you can do is forgive yourself and move on, because forgiving yourself and going to them and say I forgive you, or telling someone I forgive the person that molested me because they didn't know no better.
Yes.
And those are soothing words.
Yes.
Soothing words. So once you begin to believe it, it gets better and better. But if you hold that over someone's head, it's like we never had a sin, or we never did anything wrong. Just because you was molested doesn't mean that that person knew what he was doing was right. Flesh is a dangerous thing.
Yes.
Now I know.
Yeah. Yes.
But if the children are being molested, where are the adults in the family?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Yes.
If your daughter is being molested, where is the mother and the father? How did you let a predator in your house and gave them that much run over the house? And
that's what it is. It's a predatory thing, and it's sad.
And it doesn't matter if it's uncle, cousin, brother-in-law, step-brothers. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's all of the flesh.
Yeah. Well, we pray for those children that have gone through that.
Absolutely.
And that you've been blessed and delivered from that, because it was, I'm sure it was hard.
Yeah, I called Teresa, my girlfriend Teresa, I called her 500 times. I forgive you for molesting me. She said, no, do it again. And I would call her back until I called each and every person that molested me and forgave them, except one. He passed away.
Yeah.
But it made me feel powerful.
Okay.
That I was able to say I wasn't promiscuous as a child.
Yes. To take that off, to take that blame off of yourself.
As a child,
yes. Right. Yeah. Well, God has brought you through some storms.
Oh, He has.
He has brought you through some storms.
Yeah.
And we have so much to celebrate this year. Your youngest son graduated from college.
May.
And I mean, amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
double
so
engineering,
excited for
biochemical
him.
engineering.
You know, Rasheen, your daughter's doing amazing.
Yes.
Congratulations to all of you.
Yeah,
And, you know, your middle boy, love him. Our cook when we come here.
Yeah,
Thank you so
my prodigal
much.
son. Yeah, that's it.
And you always open your doors for us in your heart. In your
Yeah.
story, and I know that your testimony has blessed many. I know that there's many people that will never forget you.
And you, the family I never had. All of y'all, Jackie,
Yes.
Theasia, Barbara, y'all, Olga.
Yes.
I could go on and on. Y'all,
Yeah.
y'all the family I never had, and y'all trusted me enough to let me in.
Yes.
With your
yeah.
husbands, your children's. You know,
Yeah.
you trusted me, and
Yeah.
you felt. You know, they said, try the spirit by the spirit. And you tried the spirit by the spirit, and you knew.
Yeah. Yeah. Your testimony has been, it's blessed my socks off for so many years. I've seen us do prison ministry and, you know,
We
street
broke every
ministry.
chain. Oh,
And
yeah.
so many women that were
Every
able to
chain.
relate. You were able to relate to them. You were able to see things that we couldn't see.
Absolutely.
Because we haven't walked your walk.
Absolutely.
You know, just because we're women doesn't mean that we walk the same walk. You
Right.
know, we
I
all
walk
have
by
our own
faith
story.
and not by sight.
Yeah.
And God does the rest. Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
So as we close on the podcast today, just want to let everybody know that we're going to be on live on Rita's Facebook page. So we're going to take some questions. Now, this is the first time we're
Hi,
doing
Tracy.
this. Now, that part of it won't be recorded, but this will be uploaded to YouTube probably tomorrow. So look out for that. We're going to have that up and going. Don't forget to find Art of Grace podcasts on Apple, Spotify. Look me up on Facebook, Instagram. We'll have all of that attached to the podcast today. So we got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, God is giving birth. I'll be out there on the podcast too. Me and Miss Davis getting ready to do a podcast with the homeless.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you setting everything up today. I can't wait for us to do this again because we're going to do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it'll be on the other side because I'm here in Virginia right now, and maybe you can do one with me in
I
Florida.
Come out and feed the
You'll
homeless.
Yes.
Out there where you are.
We're going to do it.
One.
We're going to do it.
Yes.
So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the podcast on YouTube. We want to see you. We want to hear from you. Just so much good stuff that's about to come.
Yes.
So much good stuff that's about to come.
Well, yeah, I recently retired from my job.
Yes, that was the
and
next question I was about to ask you so people can find out where they can find you at and what you're doing.
Absolutely. Just come. You could pray. We could get on the floor. We could do home. I'm just going to, I bought a trailer so that I can go out there with homeless and get the food out and the clothes,
Yes.
whatever we do with the homeless.
I love that.
It's all about the homeless.
I love that. God is now expanding on a new season of your life. You're about to do some new things. And you
Yes,
have the
and I'll
time
be on
to do it now.
Facebook. I'm going to learn how to do
Oh, my
Instagram.
You're going to learn.
And I'm
If you
gonna
didn't learn today.
What do we do?
Oh, yeah, boomerangs.
Boomerang.
We're old people, okay?
Yeah,
we're old.
we learning.
But the good thing is that you have your sons to show you how to do all of that. So
Yeah, I'm grateful for my sons. They love me and they know my worth, and that's important to me.
Yes. Well, I'm so happy to see you traveling.
Oh, yeah.
You're enjoying life.
Oh, I did a Nashville thing. Yeah,
Yes, I mean, you've been all over.
around the world.
You're doing some new things, and I'm happy
Yeah.
for you. I'm happy that you're able to live life in the second part of your life.
Yes.
And thank you for always welcoming me into your home.
Oh, you always welcome.
Yes, so-
you didn't bring your husband, though.
I know. He couldn't be
Brother
here.
Aki, I'm sorry.
Well, I want to just give a couple of shout outs tonight. And this is to some of my Richmond girls, actually, because I didn't see you all this weekend. I may be going home in a couple of days. But Phyllis, I love you. You're celebrating your 66th birthday. I saw you hanging out at the Keith Sweat concert. So I want to give you a
Nice.
shout out. And to your daughter, Ro, I love you so much. Congratulations on graduating from nursing school. I am so proud of you. And I just wanted to make sure I shared that. And to all my women of grace that are listening, I love you guys so much.
Delphia,
20 years.
love you, Delphia.
20 years of friendship. I can't believe it. And it
20
wouldn't be
years.
that without you guys. And so
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much. Just wanted to end with this. Right before me and Rita was starting to record,
Hi,
the Lord
Alice.
gave that to us. Psalm 107, 28 to 31. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he brought them out of their distress. And he stilled the storm to a whisper.
The storm.
The waves of the sea were hushed. They were glad when it grew calm, and he guided them to their desired heaven, to their desired haven. So I just wanted to share that with you tonight, that a storm is not meant to be with you forever. It's just meant to be there to, it's not even going to put fear in us. It's just going to cause us to call out on God. And honestly, when we sit and we think about it, it's going to actually push us into our purpose.
Absolutely.
So I love everybody who's listening. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe on YouTube. Check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Awesome.
Until the next episode, you guys have a good one. Bye-bye.
God bless.
Thank you so much for watching Art of Grace Podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Check us out on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Also, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Until next time, keep creating a better you.